Talking about space, we're also talking to Caroline Casey, who knows a lot about the interaction between space and stars and Earth and trickster magic and astrology and how we're being so fluid today.
Yes, it is. No, winter solstice always important, and we love this 5,125, 52 tunes moment. So it is a giant cauldron into which we want to throw and compost, tyranny, befoilement, all of that, and ladle out human manners and respect and humble. I think Mayan word for human means one who owes, and our word for human comes from humus, earth, dirt, time. We ladle out, time for humans to be humble again, as is in the name, humbly, willing to cooperate with nature at this time of dire beauty. So whatever good intent, from many stories and traditions, we all want to engage it, for collective good. This is traditionally time of the sun's light illumines the community's guiding story. So that's good. We want, the best of all traditions brewing in, and forgiveness and befoilement and sifting through, and people's kindness of heart.
Beautiful. Yeah. And how does Venus tie into this?
Well, I would not presume the exquisite, cycles of Venus as Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica. All cultures have tracked the Venus cycle. For the Western mythos, astrology brings into all of us, it's the rise of Venus right before the solstice. It's the return of Venus from the underworld. It is the Inanna myth. And what she says to us is those who survive the journey to the underworld earn the right to be cultural trickster redeemers. So time of cultural hijinks. The Inanna myth, a large myth, people spend their whole lives on it, but in 10 seconds, she goes to underworld to grieve, to the funeral of an old age. So we are releasing the old age, that's useful. And then when she gets back, she lounges around. And then it says one day she's contemplating the wonders of her own vulva, how wonderful it is to be a woman. And the idea occurs to her that she will steal culture back from Enki, who is the god of wisdom who has become a tyrant. And this is very hip of the Sumerians. Any authority unchallenged will become tyrannical. Harvard, gurus, teachers, anything. So the trickster redeemer, she sets forth with her good friend, and being a woman trickster redeemer, she does not go gur. She gets him drunk with eloquence and poetry and stories and liquor. And as he gets drunk, he gives back to her what he's stolen, all these elements of culture called mes, M-E'-S. And the first is the erotic arts. He says, I give you the erotic arts, and she says, I take that. And then architecture and the language and astronomy, astrology and mythology and real estate, and everything. She puts it back in her basket, and she sails back to humanity, and the god of wisdom who's become a tyrant because he wasn't challenged, wakes up and discovers it gone and sends demons after her, so we're not out of the woods yet, team. But she's so pumped up with friendship, power, eroticism, the joy of the adventure that she fends them off with alacrity. And that's how Inanna, the Venus part of all of us, in one tradition, restores culture to humanity, and then we can have a wise culture, once again, that cooperates with nature. There we go. So that myth is always good from 2,500 years ago, but very active now. So that's why I love this winter solstice as the birth of the trickster redeemer within each heart. And that any tradition any divination, any mythology is useful to the extent that it guides people to their own goodness and autonomy, as opposed to reliance on outer authority. So.
Wow, thank you so much. I feel like we learned all about it. Very helpful.
It is my pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
You're
thank you,
welcome.
Caroline Casey.